For the first time ever on this channel, I'm proud to say that this video is sponsored by Chrono.gg. Chrono.gg is an online service that works directly with game developers and creators like myself to promote the games that you love. Every day at 9 AM Pacific, a different game is featured on their website, with the deal typically lasting 24 hours. Today for Cyber Monday, Chrono.gg is featuring 2 Point Hospital at 29% off for a limited time of 48 hours. If you like City Skylines and are into building and or designing different things, then I strongly recommend that you try out 2 Point Hospital. It's a game where you get to design, build, and manage your own hospital. If you're interested, or for more information, visit chrono.gg/distanced. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 11 of GSX. In today's episode, we're going to be taking care of the car rental area, as well as some parking. I originally intended to do some satellite lots, but at the moment I think with what I have here, it's about enough, and I don't think I can really do any more parking until I decide on a few more things, such as where another terminal will go, and a few other things. This is sort of why I didn't do it last episode. I could have switched it, but I need to have the expressways done first, so I can sort of, have all the exits and everything ready. For most of the roads, I ended up using the parking lot roads. I think it was by Bad Idea. They're really nice. They're simple. I don't think there's much to them. It's a generic road, which I really like, but at the same time it has some detail to it. There's this great Hertz rental on the workshop, and so I decided to use that as sort of the part of the main building. And then I'm going to clip some offices into it. And speaking of offices, next episode is going to be the industries expansion. We're going to be working on our industrial area, sort of changing that up a bit. So yeah, if get ready for that for the next episode. That'll be the city, not the airport. For airport next episode, I'm not sure we're going to be doing. Probably going to be redoing the runways because I would like to work on those a little bit. But yeah, basically I'm taking these generic offices. I don't remember by who they are, and I'm clipping them into the Hertz rental and sort of just making a bit of a series of them, and then I'll be putting the signs on top of that, the car rental signs. Ideally, like most airports, you would have this within that inner loop, in the terminals or when you exit the actual main building. But I didn't have enough room there, and I'm really happy with how that inner loop turned out, so I didn't really want to mess with that, and I thought this might be a little bit fun and original, and so that's what we ended up doing. There also was this enterprise rental. I probably could have had it, part of this main building, but there are so many nice assets for the enterprise rental that I sort of wanted it to be its own standalone building. And then you can see me here just clipping them into the building. These are part of a pack. I will link it in the description. And I had a few different, companies. You can see right here, this is how it turned out. I had Europcar, Alamo, Avis. I do have Budget over there too, you can see. Yeah, basically just the main companies that I was aware of. And then after that, I just sort of clipped another office into it, just to sort of give it that extra look that it's, one big building. So while this is going on, we actually did get 2 questions in the Q&A channel in Discord from Wallen, and you can see them on the screen right now. One of them was, what would be your dream job according to your hobbies? And I actually want to be an aerospace engineer. I'm not going to say exactly where I live, but I live next to the only university in, not next to, but not too far away from the only university in Canada that offers aerospace engineering as a program. So I'm hoping to get into that. I really like space and aviation, if you haven't noticed, based off of this series. So yeah, I think that's what I would like to do. I just really like the idea of getting to design aircraft and spacecraft, and of course there's that satisfaction where you, when it goes into orbit, or when it starts, or when it takes off for the first time, I think that's pretty cool. Wallen's last question was, what is your favorite thing about everyday life? And I'd say is going outside. I mean, we have so much technology and everything now that we're usually stuck inside. I mean, even with school now, right? At my school, you don't really go outside that much because there's not a need to. And so, yeah, I'd say going outside because you get to sort of just breathe some fresh air. And of course, I mean, after playing City Skylines for a while, it's interesting to see how things are built, and just take a look around at the city and the town. yeah, I'd say that's probably the most interesting thing about everyday life. So those are the two staggering questions we got. I know it's a lot. Thank you, Wallen, for the questions. Um, Again, the Discord link is in the description, so go check that out if you're not joined already. Post something in the Q&A, if you have a question or anything like that, because it's nice to have those things to talk about in videos. So yeah, while we were doing that, you saw that I put up some parking garages, and then I made sort of a walkway from the main rental building to the garages, because that's typically where they would store the cars, at least at the airports that I've been to and the rental services that I've used. They have the main building that's usually directly adjacent to or part of the actual garage, but I didn't want to clip it, and so I made that walkway, and I think it looks pretty nice. It's kind of cool. Wish it was functional, but it isn't. It would be nice to see people walking back and forth. Unfortunately, rental service isn't a thing. I wish somebody could do something like that, with taxis or something like that. I don't know, like you have a taxi service that looks like rental cars. And then, of course, we have these two little doors from the back of the offices. And, this is sort of what the area turned out to look like in the end. And I just put up some signs because I guess that's where they would bring in supplies or something. I don't know how it works exactly. I just thought it was a nice little detail to add. This truck over here, I believe, was made by Ninja Noob Slayer, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. This entire area ended up looking really great, in my opinion. It's small and insignificant, but then again, those are the things that really make up a good project, in my opinion. It's those small things, and, when you're just taking a look, and you go into some random place, and you find something small and insignificant, but it's still detailed, and it really adds to the character of the project and the build, and just in general, I think those things really count. And in fact, in the midst of building this, the pipe fence prop pack released, and that was also pretty nice because it added a bit of realism, and you'll see that in the cinematics. Over here, I was looking for what could be a depot for shuttle buses that are going to be coming from that bus station over there. This is how it looks like in the end. And I ended up using these. I think they're by Senfcore. They're part of his modern cargo station, train cargo station. And yeah, these work perfectly. I used the service vehicle depot pack or whatever it's called. I don't remember by who it's by. And I put a bus depot I clipped it into there, and then added a road, and then I had the shuttle buses basically come out from there. I made a few lines, like for example, going from downtown to the airport, we had I think it's the GSX airporter or something like that, and it just sort of shuttles people back and forth, which is supposed to reduce traffic a good amount. And yeah, you could see it over here. I'm messing with it. I believe all the shuttle buses were by Ninja Noob Slayer as well. He has some great airport bus vehicle things. And then over here, I started working on the actual parking, which is ground level, not covered. This is how it's really generic. It's just regular parking, but still, it was sort of necessary. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to have a rental area without enough parking for people to park. I think it's safe to say that the most boring part of this build was the parking. It was really just sort of adding and removing parking spaces, but it was sort of necessary again. And then, of course, I did the park and fly, because that was sort of the main point for the parking. And this was the buildings. It's like a pack, whatever. I'll link all the stuff that you need to know about in the description. But basically, this building, you're not supposed to put a road through it, because there are like parking spaces where the road would be, so it looks like there are vehicles there. So what I did afterwards was I basically just converted it to a procedural object and placed it down as a mesh, I guess. And now it doesn't disappear, and there are no parking spaces, so it's all working fine. And I'd recommend you do that too, because you don't really want to go into the asset editor, and you don't want the parking spaces there, otherwise you're going to have cars driving through other cars. So yeah. It took a little bit of playing around with to get the roads right, so it wouldn't clip and everything, because of course we have the huge parking lot over there, and then you're trying to get it all together, so it's, it looks like a nice sort of turnaround or whatever it's called. And yeah, you have to play, like with everything in City Skylines, you have to play around with it for a little bit, but if you play around with it enough, it'll look nice in the end, and I think in this case it did. It turned out well. I did also switch the Roads United texture pack to the new US Roads Reworked by Prez. It looks and functions much better in my opinion, and it's a nice texture pack. And if you're using Roads United and you have one of the old North American or US ones, like I think there's North America Plus or something like that, you should probably switch to the US Reworked one, the new one, because it's a really nice texture pack. All the textures are new, and they have the nice painted lines, and you can change like you can with whatever. I'm getting off topic. I tend to do that a lot. Anyways, after I had done that, I did make a new line for the park and fly, right? So I had this sort of loop going around the parking area. Sorry, my cat is snoring. Be quiet. I made a park and fly route around the parking area because that's what I've seen before. Like for example, at Toronto Pearson, there was like they have a lot of satellite parkings, and they have shuttle buses going around picking people up, and so I wanted to do that, and I had it go through the center loop at the airport, and it reduced traffic congestion by so much because now you have people using the shuttle instead of just walking around or getting cars or whatever. It's just a lot better. So yeah, if you're having traffic congestion in your airport, then probably you might need a shuttle bus. It'll help a lot. Unfortunately, I don't remember by who the park and fly buses are by. I'm just assuming everything is by Ninja Noob Slayer because he's like the largest vehicle creator out there. Yeah. So then the other thing that I had to do was this sort of bus depot parking thing over here. You can see it looks really nice in the end, and it's just a whole bunch of large parking spaces for buses to go on and shuttle buses because they need a room, they need some space because you're not just going to have them parking in regular parking, and they have to go somewhere. That's my point. And I thought this would be a good space for them because they still had a lot of empty space, and I was using the shielding you see over top. That's actually from a train station pack. Modular modern train station. I think that's what it was. Anyway, so we're pretty much at the end of the episode now. If you like this video, consider leaving a like, and I hope this helped those of you who were looking to do something similar. Hope I gave you some inspiration. Consider leaving a like if you liked the episode, if I helped you. Or, leave a dislike if there was something that was wrong, and, leave a comment telling me what was wrong. I read all comments, so if you have something that you want me to see, leave a comment. Huge thank you to Chrono.gg for sponsoring this episode. Please check them out, the link in the description. If this is your first time on the channel, then consider subscribing, because this is all I do. I play City Skylines. And, I'll see you next time.